Welcome back!
Hi, my name's Avram Parker and welcome to Muse Culture. Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft, is the upcoming free-to-play digital collectible card game from Blizzard Entertainment. But in a sea of paper-based card games like Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon, the trading card game, how could a digital version compare? Let's review. Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft is pretty close to resembling the World of Warcraft card game, which didn't pick up in popularity as much as Blizzard might have expected it to. Hearthstone is their new iteration of collectible card game for all platforms, basically, and it is a pretty addictive game. It is designed in the Unity engine, which means it is very easy to make cross-platform like they have set it out to be, making it for iOS, Android, as well as both operating systems OS X and Microsoft Windows, which is a really cool idea, assuming that we get to keep the same account across all of our versions of the game, which we probably will. Like, why wouldn't we? So basically, once the game is set out across all these platforms and is fully released, you'll be able to basically play it anywhere you go, on the train, as you travel, or just around the house when you're at home on your computer. Like, it's going to be a really easy to play game, and it is fun and like pretty quick. And what it does is it actually takes the trading card game formula and basically boils it down a bit. The deck size is 30 cards, which is a bit smaller than usual, and you can only use 2 of each card, which is a bit less than you usually can in a trading card game deck. Each player starts with 30 health, and there are 9 different classes which have class-specific cards to them and change how they play. The 9 classes are the Priest, Warlock, Paladin, Warrior, Druid, Hunter, Rogue, and Shaman. These are all represented by, also the Mage. These are all represented by Warcraft characters from the Warcraft lore, so people like Jaina, Anduin, Gul'dan, Uther, yeah, you get the gist. Like, it's basically all of your favorite people from the Warcraft universe crammed into a trading card game, and it's kind of like being able to collect all your favorite heroes and then beat on each other with them. But basically you get to pick from these 9 classes and make decks for them out of the cards that you have, using neutral cards and the class-specific cards. Each class has its own sort of roles, where the Priest is a healer and can use things to buff health and has mechanics centered around that. People like the Warrior can actually use the mechanic where they hold a weapon and can attack themselves. So the character that you're playing, or the class you're playing, actually becomes a usable force on the field. Each class has a class-specific ability to it, which costs 2 mana to play, and so for the Priest, say, it is a 2 heal. It heals 2 health. For the Hunter, it is an arrow that takes 2 health. For the Paladin, it summons a unit, and so on and so forth. Basically, adding another layer to what you can do with your character, so that even if you don't have a card, you might be able to do something. This game deals with a lot of trading card games problems vis-a-vis mana stag. If you're playing Magic the Gathering, you can come across a problem where you might not have enough lands to play to gain mana, to play cards. Whereas in this game, you will gain 1 mana per turn until you hit 10. And that basically eliminates any mana stag issues, except you can still get issues with the cards you dealt based on their mana costs, because you might only have high cost cards or whatever it is. That's where deck building comes in, the basic strategy of getting your mana curve correct so that you can have low cost cards and high cost cards. But that's more strategy, and you can get into that once you start playing, so it's fine. The game's presented very well. For the thing about digital collectible card games, Magic the Gathering has this problem very much, where you get the online client, it's very bare bones and doesn't look great, and whereas Hearthstone has really upped their game visually and in the sound. Whereas like the music and all of the little bits of dialogue and stuff really spice up the battles. Actually having things you can click on in the fields, so there's like a griffin in one field that you can click on and you'll like core, they'll look up at you and you'll like core. Or there's like a farm that you can exploit the vegetables and grow new vegetables, and this kind of adds something that you can do while you're waiting for the other player, and it's just like a fun little aesthetic that they've added and made the game more alive and feel a bit more like a real kind of magical card game. If you're a big fan of Warcraft already, this is an interesting game because you kind of get all these characters that you know and love, and you get this in addition to this world and this kind of like interesting sort of new take on the Warcraft universe, where like in World of Warcraft, I believe there's actually games of Hearthstone happening in inns and things like that. So they're really sewing together these kind of universes. And the fact that it's free to play makes it really cool coming out of Blizzard, because Blizzard in the past has had things like World of Warcraft, which popularized MMOs, but is also quite expensive and like inaccessible to some people. Hearthstone's done what I never really expected a collectible card game in the digital world to be able to do. It's made something that's fun and visually interesting and that feels like it belongs on a computer. Now, I really appreciate it, and I'm going to keep playing it because I really enjoy it, and Magic and different games have become too expensive for me in recent years. So this has become a really good option for me to keep playing that kind of game. That kind of like collectible card game, battle game that I really enjoy, but at a bit of a cheaper cost, and like in a way where I can actually play to win more cards. So if you want to actually apply for the Hearthstone beta, you can do that with your Blizzard account and go to their beta area and just upload your specs, I think, and then you just have to wait for them to contact you. Or the game will be out on basically everything later on this year at some point. With all of those things considered though, I think I have to give Hearthstone an 8 out of 10, and I just hope for all the best in the future for it, and that it could become basically one of the most popular trading card games in the world. My name's Avram Parker. If you want to follow Muse Culture anywhere, you can come and follow Muse Culture everywhere. Then go to the website, museculture.net, go find us on Twitter, subscribe to the YouTube, Facebook, everything, just social us, and it will be great. Thanks so much. I'll see you next week.